Students, we have already learned the test for starch. Now we will learn about the test for protein. How can you confirm the presence of protein in our food samples? So for that we need to have certain materials. First of all, we have to take the powdered or mashed food items. Okay, different food samples we can use for conducting the test. Whatever the food sample may be, it should be in a powdered form or mashed form. Then keep it in a clean test tube. The powdered or mashed food sample, we have to keep it in a clean test tubes. Then add 10 drops of water to it and shake well. Okay, the powdered food item we need to add 10 drops of water, then shake it thoroughly. The next step is add 2 drops of copper sulfate solution. What we need to add? 2 drops of copper sulfate solution. Then followed by we need to add 10 drops of caustic soda solution also. Okay, 2 drops of copper sulfate solution, then 10 drops of caustic soda solution. I told you earlier, caustic soda means it is sodium hydroxide. Okay, caustic soda means it is sodium hydroxide solution. Then after adding copper sulfate and caustic soda solution into the given food sample, we need to shake the food item very well, thoroughly we need to shake it. Then after some time, you just observe the color change. When you observe the food material in the test tube, we can see the color of the food changes gradually into violet. You can observe it. And this formation of violet color indicates the presence of protein in the given food sample. Okay, so let me repeat once again. What are the things we need to take? First of all, we need to take powdered or mashed food sample. Then make a paste of it by adding some amount of water. Then we need to add 2 drops of copper sulfate solution and 10 drops of caustic soda solution. Then shake the test tube thoroughly. Gradually we can see the color of the food sample changes into violet color. And this violet color indicates the presence of protein in the food. We may use gram powder. Gram means any type of pulse varieties we can make it a fine powder, or even milk you can use it. Okay, when we pour these solutions into milk, very soon the color changes we can observe. Okay, students, we have already learned about the test for starch and protein. Now we are going to learn about the test for fat. Okay, let us see how to do it. First of all, we need to take a small quantity of food. Then wrap the food item in a piece of paper. Then crush it. Okay, while crushing you should see that the paper should not be teared. That you must keep it. It's a caution you have to take. Then third point, remove the food. After crushing the food item, that food material should be removed from the paper. Then straighten the paper. After straightening the paper, what you should do? You need to keep it against the sunlight. Okay. After crushing the food material on the paper, you need to remove the food item. Then you have to straighten the paper. Then you hold it against the sunlight. When you keep it against the sunlight, you can observe there is a transparent area. There is an appearance of an oily patch on the sheet of paper. And if that oily patch is appeared on the sheet of paper, what we can conclude? The food sample which we have taken consists of fat in it. Okay, that you can understand. So this especially food item, any food sample we can take. In order to do test, we can take any food sample. But if you are taking some groundnut seeds, or if you are taking any oil seeds, or if you are applying some ghee containing food items on the paper, this test will be very clearly, you will be able to see the transparent area on the sheet of paper. And after keeping the food item on the paper, sometimes the food may be having some water content in it. And if there is water content in it, you should keep it for some time so that the paper will get dry. After drying, you have to keep it against the sunlight. Then you can observe an oily patch on the sheet of paper. And if the oily patch is present on the sheet of paper, we can confirm that the given food sample contains fat. Is it clear? Okay, students, we have already learned about nutrients and what are the different types of nutrients and test for different nutrients. That already we have covered. Now let us see what do various nutrients do for us. Okay, let us see what do various nutrients do for our body. So you can see here, first the point which is written, that is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, what is the function? Carbohydrates provide us energy. You know that we are doing a lot of work every day, and for each and every work what we are doing, we need to have a source of energy. Okay, so these carbohydrates are responsible for providing energy for us to do our work. Okay, so what is the function of carbohydrate? It provides us energy, and with the help of that energy only we are able to do any type of work. Okay, so because they are providing energy for us, they are known as energy giving foods. Okay, carbohydrate containing food items are known as energy giving foods. Now the second one is fat. So fat also provide us energy. The main function of the fat, it makes our body warm. Okay, carbohydrates provide us energy to do our muscular activities. At the same time, fat provide us energy to make our body warm. Okay, when we compare the quantity of energy produced by carbohydrate and fat, fat provide us more energy. Okay, fat provides more energy than carbohydrate. Now the third one is protein. What do protein do in our body? Proteins are responsible for making new cells. Okay, proteins are responsible for making new cells in our body. So whenever an organism is formed, he has to grow. For the growth, what we require, we need to have more number of cells. So for the synthesis of new cells, proteinaceous food materials are helpful for us. So when we are constructing a building, you know that there are number of bricks are keeping one above the other. Okay, so that we can get a big building. We can get. So like that, when we born in our mother's womb, that time we were only a single cell, and from that single cell, now we have developed into our own size now at present. Okay, so just like that, in order to grow or for the growth of an individual, the cells should be divided or new cells should be synthesized, and for the synthesis of new cells, at the same time, if there is any parts are damaged in our body, if any body parts are damaged, for example, when you fall somewhere or when you met with an accident, you can find some of your flesh may torn or it will be disturbed. Okay, an injury may develop, but after a few days you can observe that area, that injured area will be cured, that you can observe. So that is because of the formation of new cells. Okay, so proteins are nutrients which are very essential for the synthesis of new cells, at the same time the repairing of damaged cell. So that's the function of protein. Because they are helpful for building our body, these food items are known as body building foods. Okay, protein containing food items are helpful for us to build new cells, so they are known as body building foods. Is it clear? Okay, now let us see the next nutrient, that is vitamins and minerals. Both the vitamins and minerals are required by our body very less quantity only. Compared to the quantity of carbohydrate, fat and protein, we need to have less amount of vitamins and minerals. So they are known as micronutrients also, because they are carbohydrates, fats and proteins we require large quantity. They are known as macronutrients, whereas we require vitamins and minerals in lesser quantity, so it is known as micronutrients also. It's not there in the textbook, but just I said it. Okay, just listen. Vitamins and minerals we need to have very less quantity in our diet, so it protect our body from diseases. What is the function of vitamins and minerals in our body? Vitamins and minerals containing food material protect our body from diseases. Okay, so they are known as protective foods. In order to make our body resistant, these nutrients are helpful for us. They are vitamins and minerals, and they need very minute quantity also in our body. I hope you understood the things. Okay students, we have discussed about various nutrients, and out of that, one most important nutrient only, vitamin, and we are going to see what are the different types of vitamins in this class. Okay, so let us see. The first one is vitamin A. The next one is vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K and vitamin B complex. So let us see what are the contribution of these vitamins in our body. Okay. The first one is vitamin A. So vitamin A keep our skin and eyes healthy. Okay. For healthy skin and eyes, we need to have sufficient amount of vitamin A containing food materials in our diet. So what are the some examples I have given here? Leafy vegetable. All the green leafy vegetables will have sufficient amount of vitamin A. At the same time, you know that bran of rice. What is by bran of rice? When we remove the outer covering of the rice grain, just below that outer covering you can find a red colored powdery material is there. That is known as bran. Okay, so this bran of rice also contains more amount of vitamin A. So if we are having more amount of vitamin A containing food items in our diet, we can make our eyes and skin healthy. Okay, it's a benefit of vitamin A in our body. So now let us see vitamin C. Vitamin C is very much essential for our disease resistance capacity. If you want to make our body disease resistant, we need to include more vitamin C containing food item in our diet. Okay. So what's the function of vitamin C? Fight against diseases. They are fighting against different types of diseases. So it will make our body disease resistant. The next one is vitamin D. Vitamin D, the main function of vitamin D is it helps our body to use calcium. So when we are taking calcium containing food items, the calcium is a mineral, that is the absorption of this calcium mineral is possible when we include more amount of vitamin D containing food items in our diet. Okay. The next one, and moreover, one more thing, vitamin D, it's an easily available vitamin for us. When our body is exposed to sunlight, our body has the capacity to prepare vitamin D. Okay, in our body itself, vitamin D can be prepared, but only one condition, you need to expose yourself to the sunlight. So that's the reason you can see this, if you go to beach and all, you can find there are so many foreigners are taking sun bath. Have you heard about it? And if it is not clear for you, ask your parents, they will help you. Okay, sun bath. Then, next one is vitamin E. Vitamin E is very essential for the reproduction process. The normal reproduction function is possible if we are including more amount of vitamin E containing food items in our diet. The next one is vitamin K. You know that whenever there is an injury occurring in your body, automatically bleeding will take place, you know that. But after some time you can see the bleeding will be stopped. Okay, so that is how it is happening because of clotting of blood take place. Okay, blood will undergo clotting. If you keep milk along with a little amount of curd, after some time you can see that milk will undergo a process of clot formation. It will become a semi-solid. You know that. Just like that, whenever blood starts coming out from our injury, after some time you can find that injured area, there will be a clot formation will take place. And for the formation of this clot, vitamin K is helpful for us. Suppose if any person is lacking enough amount of vitamin K in his body, what can happen? Whenever there is an injury occurs, bleeding may take place. Okay, more amount of blood will lose from his body. So the main function of vitamin K is it helps in clotting of blood. Okay. The next point is vitamin B complex. Vitamin B complex means it is a group of vitamin B. Okay. That vitamin B1 is there. Vitamin B1, vitamin B2, vitamin B6, B12, etc. Okay. So it is known as vitamin B complex is known as the B complex because it is a combination of many vitamins. That means B1, B2, B6 like that. Number of vitamins are in a group. Okay, that's why all those group together we can call it as vitamin B complex. And what's the role of vitamin B complex in our body? Vitamin B complex prevents infection. It will prevent our body from infection. Infection means what? Entry of disease causing germs into our body is known as infection. Suppose if we have vitamin B containing food materials in our diet, we will become free from many types of infections. Okay. Then it's also helpful for cell health. If the cells are healthy, that organ will be healthy, and if the organ is healthy, the organ system will be healthy. Finally, that organs also will become healthy. Okay, so each and every cell will be made healthy with the help of vitamin B complex. Okay, so let me repeat all these vitamins once again. Vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, and vitamin E. Then vitamin K, then a group of B vitamins, that is called as vitamin B complex. Okay children, what is the source of all these vitamins? The sources of all these vitamins are mainly fruits and vegetables. Almost all the fruits and vegetables will have one or other type of vitamins in it. Okay. Okay students, now let us study about minerals. So we have already discussed that vitamins and minerals, they are micronutrients. What is micro means? Very minute. Okay, we need to have these two nutrients, that is vitamins and minerals, in our body, very minute quantity. So they are known as micronutrients. So let us see, there are so many micronutrients are there, like zinc, molybdenum. There are so many extra also there, but only few examples are given for you in your textbook. Let us study that. So first one is calcium. Okay, calcium is very essential for our development of bones and teeth. You know that our bones and teeth, if you want to become strong, we need to have more amount of calcium. Okay, so where are the calcium is available in our food material? Especially egg and milk consists of more amount of calcium in it. Okay, egg, milk consists of more amount of calcium. Then let us see iodine, another important mineral, that is known as iodine. The source of iodine is ginger and seafood. We are getting lot of food items from the sea, just like seaweeds, prawn. There are so many food, so many fishes also we are getting from sea. All these seafood items consist of more amount of iodine. And this iodine is very essential for the proper functioning of a gland in our neck. Okay. And if we are not getting enough amount of iodine in our diet, that may leads to the enlargement of a gland in our neck, that is called thyroid gland. That may leads to a disease that is known as goiter. Okay, so we should have sufficient amount of iodine in our diet. So a normal person, sometimes the seafood items and all may not be available for them. That's why government itself passed a law. Everyone should try to use iodized salt. You know, by the use of this iodized salt, we can manage the problem with the iodine. Okay, so try to use iodized salt in your home so that you can manage the deficiency of iodine in your diet. Or you may include different types of seafood items so that we can manage that problem. Okay, so the first one is calcium, the next one is iodine, and the next one is iron. So iron is also a very important mineral which is required by our body, especially for our eyesight and skin's health, etc. Iron is also very much important. And what are the food item? Apple, green leafy vegetable, etc. contains more amount of iron. There is a food, you know that brinjal is a brinjal. Brinjal is a rich source of iron. And again, amla is there. Amla means, you know what is amla? Indian gooseberry. Okay. That also contains more amount of iron in it. So, iron is a part of our blood also. Okay, the major component of our blood, that is iron only. Okay, so we need to have sufficient amount of iron in our diet. The next one is phosphorus. Phosphorus is also, just like calcium, is a very important mineral which is required by our body for the growth and development of our bones and teeth. So, for the growth and development of our bones and teeth, there are two important minerals. One is calcium, another one is phosphorus. And if you are not having enough amount of phosphorus and calcium in our diet, our bones may become fragile. What is by fragile? It may breaks very easily. Okay. The materials which will break very easily are known as fragile materials. So, if you are not taking sufficient amount of phosphorus and calcium in our diet, our bones may break into pieces. Okay, so we should include more amount of phosphorus also in our diet. So what are the food items? Some examples of food item which contain phosphorus is given here. One is banana, milk, grains. Grains means all the cereals just like rice, wheat, bajra, all these are example for grains. This all contains sufficient amount of phosphorus in it. Then what is the function of all these? All these minerals are mainly responsible for the proper growth of our body and to maintain good health. In order to maintain good health and the proper growth of an individual, these minerals are very much essential. Okay students, now let us see about roughage. Have you heard about it? Roughage, the previous classes any time? Roughage is nothing but that is fibers present in our food materials. You know that jackfruit which we are having, which will consist of more amount of fibers are there. When we are eating mango fruit also you might have noticed that it contains more fibrous materials are there. Okay, and such fibrous materials or fibers which are present in our food material are known as roughage. Okay, what is it known as roughage? What is spelling of roughage? R-O-U-G-H-A-G-E, roughage. The roughage is also known as dietary fibers. And what is the definition for roughage? How can we define roughage? A rough fibrous content present in our food is called roughage. What is the definition? A rough fibrous content present in our food is called roughage. So, what is the role of roughage in our body? There is no nutritive value for roughage. Okay, roughage is not having any nutritive value in our body, but it is very essential also. And what is the role of it? It is helpful for us to get rid of undigested food. To get rid of. Get rid of means what? To remove. Okay. To remove the undigested food material from our digestive system, roughages are helpful for us. We can say it cleanse our stomach. Okay. Our stomach will be cleaned with the help of these fibrous food items. That's why whenever we are having food materials, along with that we may include some salad also. Okay, maybe some salad which is, you know what is by salad? Which is made up of raw food item like lemon, tomato, onion, etc. can be cut into pieces and it can be used as a raw food item. Okay, so these raw food items contains more amount of fibrous material and these fibers are helpful for removing the undigested food particles completely from our stomach. So we can say roughages helps to get rid of undigested food and it also cleanses the stomach. Okay, so examples, some of the examples for fibrous food materials: spinach, cabbage, fresh fruits, whole grains, that means not the broken wheat or something, the whole grains, that is also helpful for us to remove the undigested food particles from our digestive system. Let's study about the importance of water. Have you had water today? I think you are not having water because it is rainy season. Many of you are not interested to have sufficient amount of water, I think. But it is not correct. Okay, you have to take minimum 8 glasses of water per day. If you drink more than that also no problem, but at least you should drink minimum 8 glasses of water per day. So now let us see what is the importance of water in our body. Okay, so around 70% of our body contains water. You know about it? 70% of our body contains water. Okay, then what's the role of water in our body? It helps in digestion. You know, whatever the food we eat, that will go directly to our digestive system. And if the food want to digest properly, it needs to have a liquid medium also there. So for that, we need to drink sufficient amount of water. So water helps in digestion of food. Okay. Next, it also helps in absorbing the digested nutrients. Whenever the food gets digested in our stomach, it will be converted into fine nutrients, and for the absorption of these nutrients, which we already studied, different types of nutrients, after the digestion of food materials only, the nutrients are released from the digested food. And these nutrients, if you want to absorb into our cells, we need to take sufficient amount of water. So water helps in digestion and it also helps in absorbing. It also helps in absorbing the nutrients. Okay, it also helps in absorbing the digested nutrients. The next point is it helps to remove our body waste. What all body waste materials are there, that is to be removed with the help of water. For removal of the body waste materials, we need to drink sufficient amount of water. Okay. In which form they are sending the body waste from our body? That is in the form of sweat and urine. Okay. In order to remove the body waste in the form of sweat and urine, we need to have sufficient amount of water. Okay. Then, what are the sources of water for us? So, how we are able to get a sufficient amount of water into our body? Knowingly, we are drinking 8 glasses or different amount of water we are drinking knowingly. And apart from that, some other liquid food item. For example, morning when you get up now from the bed, you may get a bed coffee that contains water. Okay. And sometimes when you go from the school, when you reach home, your mother may give 1 glass of juice. Okay. And that also contains water. So like that, some of the liquid foods which we are having contain sufficient amount of water. That is one source, liquid foods. The next one, the fruits, different types of fruits. Different fruits we are having, like watermelon. If you cut watermelon, you can find there is lot of water which come out. And if you squeeze a lemon, you can find water drops keep coming outside. That means these all food items, especially lemon, watermelon, tomato. Tomato is a vegetable, you know. Whenever your mother cuts vegetables, or when they cut tomato, or if you yourself also can cut a tomato and see there is lot of water content will come outside. So when we are including all these fruits, vegetables, etc. in our diet, the water content present in them will be absorbed by our body. So that is another source. First one, the liquid foods which we are taking like tea, coffee, juice, etc. Again, the fruits, fresh fruits and vegetables, etc. contain large amount of water. And moreover, for cooking food, we are adding water. While we are cooking food, we are adding some amount of water. That is also a source of the food material, a source of water present in our food material. Okay, students. Up to now, we have discussed about different types of nutrients. Now we will discuss about a diet which contains all these nutrients. Okay, that is balanced diet. So first of all, let us see the definition for balanced diet. A diet which contains all the nutrients needed by our body in right quantity. Okay, a diet which contains all the nutrients needed by our body in right quantity. It should also contain good amount of water and roughage. Such a diet is known as balanced diet. Okay, you understood the definition for balanced diet? A diet which contains all the nutrients needed by our body in right quantity and sufficient amount of water and roughage. Such a diet is known as balanced diet. And you know that this balanced diet is not uniform for all the people. Okay, the balanced diet may be varying from person to person. As per the age group also it differs. Again, as per the type of work we are doing, the necessity of this balanced diet also varying. Okay, some people those are working in the agricultural field, they need to have more amount of carbohydrates in their diet. And the people like you, children, you are growing children, you need to have more amount of protein in your diet. So when we compare this diet plan of different persons, you can find there will be variations. Okay, the balanced diet is varying from person to person as per their age as well as the nature of their work. Okay, so now let us see some of the important points regarding the cooking of food materials. So when we are eating food, the eating right kind of food is good, but that not only that is enough for us to maintain good health. The food material should be cooked properly. Eating right kind of food, but the same food should be cooked properly. Okay. The next one, the washing fruits and vegetables after cutting should be avoided. You know that. What's the reason? When we cut the food, or especially fruits or vegetables, after cutting when we wash, what happens now? It contains some amount of water soluble vitamins and minerals are there. When we are washing it after cutting, these water soluble vitamins and minerals may lose. That's why we should avoid washing fruits and vegetables after cutting. Then when we need to wash it, we should wash it before cutting. Okay. The next point is repeated washing and overcooking should be avoided. Repeated washing. So if you are washing the food material like rice or even vegetables, if you are washing for a long period of time, that may cause the loss of nutrients from it. At the same time, overcooking also. Sometimes we may keep the food on the stove and we may go and do some other work outside. And that means the food will get overheated or it will be cooked, overcooking will be happened. So in such case what happens now? Some of the nutrients and minerals may lose because of heat. Such heat resistant nutrients are available in our food that may lose from our food item. That's why we should not overcook the food item. Okay, how much is required, that much time only we should cook it. So repeated washing and overcooking should be avoided. The next point, cook the food in sufficient water. So while we are cooking food material, sometimes some people may add more amount of water. And if more amount of water, that curry will not be tasty. In such case, what we used to do, we may throw this excess water outside. We may drain the water outside. So when we are throwing this excess water outside, that may cause the loss of nutrients which is present in that particular amount of water. Okay, so we can do one thing. This excess water can be drained in another vessel, and that same excess water can be used in the preparation of some other curry. For example, while we are making rasam, we can add this excess amount of water into it. Or when we are making any vegetable soup, we may add this into that particular soup. In that way, we can manage the wastage of nutrients from our diet. So these are the points we have discussed in this lesson, in this topic. One is balanced diet, and what are the precautions we need to take while we are cooking food materials. I think the concept is clear for you. Okay, we know that all these nutrients are very important for our body. Okay, what will happen if some of these nutrients are absent in our diet? Did you think any time? It may lead to some diseases. So we are going to discuss about the diseases which are occurred in our body due to the deficiency of one or more nutrients in our diet. Okay. And these diseases we can call it as these diseases we can call it as deficiency diseases. Okay, so let us see what is a definition for deficiency disease. So the disease that occur due to lack of nutrients over a long period of time are called diseases that occurs due to the lack of nutrients over a long period of time. Okay, the disease that occur due to lack of nutrients over a long period of time are called deficiency diseases. Okay, let us see what are the deficiency disease occurs due to the lack of an important nutrient, a major nutrient, that is protein. If a person is lacking sufficient amount of protein in his diet, he or she may suffer from some of these symptoms. That means, let us see what are those symptoms. One is stunted growth. Stunted growth means the growth will not be like that of the children of their age. Okay, they will have the growth which is stunted growth, means which will not be taking place in a proper manner. Okay, height will become less. You might have seen that there are so many people who are having stunted growth. Have you seen Guinness Pakru? You know that his height is also less only. Okay, that means some such problems maybe. Okay, some genetical problem is also there, but the people those who are not having enough amount of protein in his diet, stunted growth, that is a symptom. The next one is swelling face. Face will be always swollen. That means whenever our body parts hit somewhere, you can find that particular area. Swelling we might have observed. The same like that on his face, you may be able to find the presence of certain swelling on his face. Then discoloration of hair. The color of the hair may change. Okay, discoloration of the hair color, that may not be just like that of the other people, those who have healthy hair, that black hair, you know that. And some people may have that Just like foreigners here, you might have seen that. So the people those who are suffering from protein deficiency, they may not have the proper black color of for their hair. It may become some discoloration will be observed. Again, they may be suffering from some skin diseases. Okay. The next one is diarrhea. So diarrhea, you know, that's a condition in which the people are suffering from loose motion as well as vomiting. Okay, so such type of a condition he has to come across if sufficient amount of protein is absent in his or her diet. The next one is deficiency of carbohydrate and protein. So first case we have discussed about only protein deficiency, but in second case we are going to discuss about if carbohydrate and protein together, if they are lacking in their diet for a long period of time, what happens? The child may become very weak and he may become very lean. Lean means if the new cells are not synthesized, he will not be able to grow. At the same time, the fat also will not be there on his body. His body become very thin. Okay. The next one, the growth may stop. The growth also may not continue. It may stop, and he or she will not be able to move. He will be unable to move from one place to another place. So these are the points. Let me explain once again. If carbohydrate and protein together they are lacking in our diet for a long period of time, he or she may suffer from weakness and he may become lean and growth may stop. Sometimes he will be unable to move from one place to another place. Okay children, up to now we have discussed about balanced diet and deficiency diseases, etc. Now, and also we have discussed if the deficiency of protein is there in our diet, what will happen. And we also discussed about if proteins and carbohydrates together, if they are deficient in our diet, what will happen. That's all we have discussed. Now let us see what will happen in our body, or what are the deficiency diseases occurs in our body in the absence of sufficient amount of vitamins and minerals. Okay, so let us see one by one, and this chart is given in your textbook, page number 16. This chart is given. All of you have to read and write and study those chart. Okay, I will check after the reopening of the school, I will check all these notes in your book. I should see it. Okay, so let us see one by one. Vitamin A. What is the effect of vitamin A deficiency in our body? Let us see first. That is loss of vision. So mainly vitamin A is responsible for the proper functioning of our eyes and skin. That already you have studied in the previous class. So if the vitamin A is deficient in our diet, that may cause the loss of vision. And this loss of vision, it may not happen completely. Sometimes there are chances, as per the variations in the quantity of vitamin A, there may be some defects. Sometimes poor vision, that means the person may not be able to see the things clearly. And sometimes the loss of vision in darkness. Loss of vision in darkness means especially after 6 o'clock, the people may not be able to see the things very clearly. And that is known as night blindness, we will say. Night blindness. Okay. The next, sometimes the people may lose the vision completely. So, poor vision, loss of vision in darkness, sometimes complete loss of vision. So these are the symptoms shown by a person who is suffering from vitamin A deficiency. Okay. So now let us come to the next one, that is vitamin B1. I told you vitamin B, a group of vitamins are there. So vitamin B1, we are studying about vitamin B1 in this topic. That is, it causes a disease that is called beriberi. Okay. Vitamin B1's deficiency, we are getting a disease that is known as beriberi. Okay, vitamin B deficiency disease is beriberi. And what are the symptoms of this disease? Mainly weak muscles. The muscles will not be stronger like that of other healthy children, and a very little energy to work, and he or she may not have enough energy to do his work. Okay, so these are the symptoms of beriberi disease. Beriberi is caused due to the deficiency of which vitamin? Vitamin B1. Okay, now let us see vitamin C. If vitamin C is deficient in your diet, what do we have to do? We should include more amount of vitamin C containing food item in our diet. That's all. Okay, then what is the deficiency disease caused by vitamin C? That is scurvy. The name of the disease is scurvy. The symptoms of this disease are bleeding gums, Bleeding gum means what? What is meant by gum? Gum is a place where our teeth are fixed. Okay, you are familiar. And bleeding gums, that means from in between the teeth, blood may come out. That is known as bleeding gums. Then wounds may take long time to heal. Wounds, whenever an injury occur in our body, it may take a long time to heal. Okay, it may not be cured so easily. It may take long time to heal. One is bleeding gum. Next one is wounds may take long time to heal. The next vitamin is vitamin D. If vitamin D is deficient in our diet, we may get a disease that is called rickets. What is spelling of rickets? R-I-C-K-E-T-S, not cricket. Okay, it is rickets. And what is the symptom of it? The bones become soft. Bones become soft and bent. Okay, the bones become soft. So that is a symptom. Rickets, a person who is suffering from rickets, his bones become soft and bent. Whenever, suppose now you can see, this is a stick. Okay, this stick, it is not that much strong. Let's say when we press it, now you can observe it will bend like this. Can you see? Okay, so the bones, because of its softness, the bones may become, it will become bent. And this bending can take place towards inside as well as towards outside also it can take place. Okay, then next one, calcium. It's an example for a mineral. If calcium mineral is deficient in our diet, we may get a situation where the bones become very weak and it also causes tooth decay. Okay, decaying of the tooth will take place in the absence of calcium in our body. At the same time, weak bones also. Bones become weaker. The next one is iodine. Already we have discussed about iodine. If iodine is deficient in our diet, that may cause the enlargement of a gland in our neck region. There is a gland called thyroid gland. You will study that about that in higher classes. Thyroid gland. In our body, or especially in the neck region, there is a gland called the thyroid gland. If enough iodine is lacking in our diet, this thyroid gland will swell and it will be enlarged. You might have seen that some person's neck is in an enlarged condition. That's a disease only. Okay, that disease is goiter. The disease name is goiter. A person who is suffering from the lack of iodine, he may have to suffer from a disease that is called goiter. Then, what are the symptoms of this disease? The glands in the neck appear swollen. The glands in the neck appear swollen. Which gland is located in the neck? That is thyroid gland. Then, mental disability. Some people may have some mental disability also. That means the mental capacity to think or to do certain actions that may not take place in a proper manner. So, mental disability and glands in the neck appear swollen, in which case if the person is suffering from iodine deficiency. Okay, let us see the next one, that is iron. Iron is easily available more in amla. Already I have told you. Okay, iron is available in more amount of iron we can get from amla. And in the absence of iron, we are getting a disease that is called anemia. What is it? Anemia. And what is spelling of anemia? A-N-A-E-M-I-A. So most of the children are writing A-N-E-M-I-A. Okay. So whenever you are writing the spelling of anemia, you must be very careful. Here there is an A is there, but its pronunciation is silent only. Anemia. A-N-A-E-M-I-A. Then you can see what is the symptom of anemia. The child, that particular person looks very pale and he may have weakness in his body. He may not be active. He will be an inactive child. We can observe some children are there. Inactive as well as lethargic, we can say. That means not that much active like me. Okay. Okay, children. So these are the different points, different deficiency diseases and their symptoms. This chart is given in your textbook, page number 16. All of you have to write and study those spellings and all. Okay, diseases, spellings and all you must write and study. Okay, now let us see what are the new words present in this chapter. Okay, children, we have come to the end of the lesson. So let us see What are the new words which we have covered in this chapter? Okay, the first one is balanced diet. So what is spelling of balanced diet? BALANCED, balanced diet. DIET, balanced diet. Okay. The next one is berry. The spelling is berry. Spelling of berry is BERI. Berry. Okay. The next one is carbohydrates. Carbo spelling CARBOHYDRATES. Carbohydrates. Next one is fats. 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 The next one is minerals. MINERALS. MINE, we can cut it into two groups. MINERALS. Minerals. The next one is nutrients. 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 The next one is protein. What is that? Protein. The spelling is PROTEIN. The spelling of protein is PROTEIN. Okay. The next one is roughage. 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 What is it? Roughage. The next one is scurvy. 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 Then vitamins. 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 The next STARCH. That is starch. Okay. I think the words are clear to you. All of you have to write each word 5 times at the same time. Whatever the notes I am going to give you, that you should study thoroughly. Difficult words you must write and study, and all the examples also you have to write and study and get ready for the test paper. Immediately after receiving the question answers, you may have a test paper also. So be ready. Okay children, see you. Till the next time we meet. Take care. Okay.